back facing up and just slides in underneath all of the other sheets. And that's it. You put in as many as you think you're going to need. If you're going to need more than 5 or 6, you might want to stagger it. Just so the paper's in the water between 30 minutes to an hour and not more than an hour and a half. You can see it has different patches where I've used it. It has ink. You want to find a clean spot, like right there. And on that clean spot, I find other clean spots in the tarlatan, like here, when I fold it on top of the first clean spot. Then I'll get another one, fold it on top, find another clean spot, fold it in. And once I've got 3 or 4 clean layers, then I can just start rolling this all into the center, all into that clean area. And then I'm balling this up. So that I have this clean spot. That's a smooth area, whereas the back is all kind of rough. Now I'm going to make a nice tight ball that has about the consistency of my palm here. So firm consistency, but it still has some give. And now I want to flatten this out. And so I bang this against my hand, flatten it out, or just bang it against the table, and I'll do that a lot. Now it's got this nice flat wiping surface. The idea is I'm going to end up wiping the ink off of it. And try and scrape just the top layer, because that's all waste right there. We've got to put that over here on the side. I'm going to scrape around the edges too, just to be sure I don't pick up any extra chunks when I get to the good ink that I want. Now once we're down to the good ink, still scraping from the top, I'm trying to get a nice even layer here and not dive the palette knife into the ink. That way, at least if I leave this for another month again, the part that dries is still on the top. If I dive down into it, then there's dry ink underneath, and yeah, I've got dry and wet ink, and it's a mix, and it's just kind of a nightmare to deal with. So first thing I'm going to do is just draw this down. I'm just smashing this against the glass. And I'm going to pick out some of the dried up chunks. I'm picking it back up and drawing it down against the glass repeatedly. What that's doing is it's helping me inspect the ink for any dried chunks that I got to get out of there. That's also warming up the ink. It's changing the viscosity. Okay, it's making it a lot less viscous. It's making it more runny, if you will. Now, if you've never done this before and you're shooting your first plate, what I suggest you do is try inking the plate and printing it without any additives, just to see what it does. Okay? If you go putting the additives in right away, people start relying too much on them. Okay, so you want to try using that if you've never done it before. But most ink does need additives. And I'm going to pour a little bit of each out up here on the palette. Just create a bunch of options for me to use. So I've got the number 2 burnt plate oil and the number 000 burnt plate oil. And I'm going to put a little bit of tack reducer out here. And we got to be careful with the quantities. You don't want much tack reducer. You want just a little bit. And I know that I like a little bit of 000 plate oil and a little bit of number 2. And what I have to do is spend some real time folding that in. Now let me draw up a little bit, and look at how runny it is. It's kind of like honey. And it's a little thinner than a lot of intaglio printmakers will use. But for this process, I like it a little bit runny because it means, actually I'm going to thin it out even more, because it means that the ink is thinned out enough that like the 90% and 95% density areas are going to show up. If I didn't do this, a lot of times what happens is they'll block up and just become, or appear 100% black. I can do that, manage that with the adjustment curve, but only so much. Now the flip side is, if I thin the ink too much, then the middle zones in the grayscale, in the step wedge, look too flat. They lose contrast. So I don't want too much oil, but I like a little bit thinner than most intaglio printmaking processes. Okay, that's mixed fairly efficiently, or thoroughly. And now we're ready to ink the plate.